What's good, y'all? It's y'all boy Chubbs. Hope everybody doing good. I'm doing pretty good myself. It's a pretty good day outside. I'm here with a whole nother story. Y'all already know what time it is. Now, I'm gonna just start this off by saying some people are just crazy, and it really doesn't matter how you move. It doesn't matter what you try to do to get away from these people. It really doesn't matter. These crazy people will find you, and some of these people will get you. It is what it is. I don't make the rules. Now, what ended up happening was just out of my control. There was really nothing I could do about it. It's nothing that I did wrong. It's nothing that nobody really did wrong except the person causing all this. Now, this story isn't really about me personally, but I was affected by it. It actually has to do with my mom. Now, for better or worse, we all got neighbors. You know what I'm saying? Some neighbors are calm, some neighbors are cool, some neighbors are just neighbors, you know? So apparently we ended up we pulled a bad card with this neighbor, but it didn't seem like that because we stayed next to these people like forever. This girl named Santana, she ended up having 2 kids. Now, even though her 2 daughters were kind of older, so we didn't really hang out at all. Like, they was chill, you know, they seemed chill, you know, that's how all people seem until they do something. So my mother and this lady Santana, our neighbor, they ended up becoming real close friends because we just stayed in the area for so long. They was already there before us, and you know, that's just kind of naturally happened. You know, they'd do their little. I was a kid at the time, so you know, they was doing that grown folks stuff like going to casinos, going out to eat. I really had nothing to do with it. Now, they were a lot, you know, her daughters were a lot older. They didn't need nobody to babysit. We didn't necessarily need to be babysat, but sometimes they would come over just to kind of chill. They never said too much. This ain't really about the daughters, though. As my mother got closer to this lady Santana and they became friends, they just started borrowing stuff, you know, with each other, you know, like little things here and there. Now, me personally, I don't do any borrowing at all. Anytime somebody come ask me if they need something or could they borrow something, in my head, it's gone. Like, yeah, I feel better if I just say, hey, it's yours, because then I'm looking for you to get it back, and I might not never get it back. And I you know, I don't know y'all experiences with that type of stuff, but that's just me. You know, even if it's something like a game, like, oh, you want me to borrow the game? You know, I give them the disc is gone. You know, I basically don't have it anymore. That's why if I got a problem with losing something, I just say no, I don't have it. I wasn't in that relationship, so I don't know what all the stuff was brought in between, but I know there was quite a couple things, I guess, brought in between the two. So, you know, the whole time they ain't known each other, you know, they going to the movies, you know, they doing girl stuff out of the, you know, they doing the whole grown life or whatever. Santana, our neighbor, she was starting to really feel, you know, getting the feels from my mama. Like, she was really starting, you know, but, you know, my mama, she don't swing that way, you know what I'm saying? She like what she like, and it ain't other women. So Santana didn't necessarily want to hear that. And I don't know if this was just kind of like a cool over time and then it got real hot, or if like Santana just came on and my mama was just like out of nowhere, you know what I'm saying? I have no idea. But mama, she like, you know, no, hell no. So she go and tell us, and she wasn't going to be hanging out with Santana anymore because Santana was getting kind of weird about the situation. You know, she had already said no, I guess, one time, and she kept bringing it up. I know my mama had to be uncomfortable because, you know, as our kids, she didn't really tell us that much till we started getting older. So if she coming to us about it, you know, it got to be, you know, you know what I'm saying? So a couple days go by, you know, since my mom tell us this stuff, and because we wasn't usually hanging out with them, for the most part, our life didn't really change. You know, we were still doing the same thing we always do. We barely ever saw them, and they, you know, they stayed behind us. So it was, you know. Anyway, I'm coming back from school one day. Mom seemed real stressed out. She, you know, she not really talking too much, but I'm sure, you know, if you know your mama, you know your mama, you know. So kept asking her what was going on. She said nothing. So I kind of left it alone. Come real late in the evening on basically a random school day, I wasn't doing too much. I think I was just on the game. She ended up calling all of us, like the whole family, out there into the living room. You know, she got her hand in her head and stuff. We asking her what's going on. She just break it to us right there. She said, we gonna have to move. I asked her, I'm like, why, Ma? What you mean we gotta move? What's going on? We been here forever. She like, we gonna have to move. She just kept saying that. So it was like, you know, what's going on? So she eventually told us, was like, look, so Santana, she ended up basically telling me, you know, she got a crush on me, and because you know, I like men. She didn't necessarily understand that, and now she claiming all the stuff that we and shared in between each other, the stuff we had borrowed. She claimed that I stole this. Like, why? You know, I'm sitting there just in shock. Like, what you mean you stole it? She's saying I stole it. Now she's threatening to take me to court, all because I won't get into a relationship with her. I do not know how this court proceeding is gonna go. The best thing that I could do is take y'all to our grandma. Now my grandmama stays in Alabama. That's 12 hours from where we stand. So this is like, when she say move, I'm like, oh crap. She calmly explained to us, hey, y'all need to basically go upstairs right now. We're leaving right away. Y'all need to pack y'all bags. I'm taking y'all to y'all grandma's. This shouldn't, she said, this seems like a stupid case and it shouldn't go. She said she doing this just in case if she end up, you know, just to be on basically the safer side, that y'all already, you know, we already with, you know, family and stuff. So she was like, y'all need to leave tonight. We had basically no time to go ahead and prepare for this. Now she's stressed out, I'm stressed out, the whole family stressed out. We all getting our stuff together like, what the hell is going on? Like I said, we had just came back from school for the most, it was just a normal day. Now we going down to Alabama. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of the country. This is why, this is the biggest reason I didn't necessarily want to go. I love my grandmama, you know, I should rest in peace. But it just wasn't really the move, and I got so many questions, and it was really no time. She just like, get ready. Next you know, we all getting thrown into the car like some sardines, and we got a whole 12-hour trip to Alabama. Now I'm asking her, because it ain't nothing to do that whole ride except look out the car and be depressed. So I'm asking her how long we gonna be down there. Now I could tell she didn't really know, but she said it shouldn't be no more than about 2 weeks. So I'm like, okay. Now, clearly, I'm not all there. I know that about myself. You know what I'm saying? I already know that. I don't need nobody else to, like, tell me. I kind of know. But she must think I'm not all there, because when she told me that, but she turns right around and also says she's going to be packing our stuff up and sending it in boxes and everything. So this sounds like more than a 2-week type thing. You know what I'm saying? It just don't. But I understand. She don't know what's going on. Just shike to her. Just shike to all us. So, you know, I'm going to go ahead and save y'all and skip the whole 12-hour ride all the way from Michigan to Alabama, because, oh my gosh, don't ever do that. If you stay 12 hours away from something, take a plane. Just do that. I'm here to tell you that it is. Don't do it, gang. Don't do it. Don't do it. It felt so good finally hopping up out that car. Only thing I'm gonna note about that is probably cool that Alabama got that we don't really got is the orange dirt. I'm not gonna lie, I think the orange dirt looked kind of sweet, but no, all that to the side, you know. As serious as everything was going on, we finally get down there to Alabama. My grandmama tried to keep a cool face and everything. Well, she tried to keep a cool face till I started asking her questions, because everybody know your grandmama will tell you everything that your mama won't. This is just a known fact. Again, I don't necessarily write the rules. This is just kind of how it is. So my mother actually left. She wasn't playing. Like, she dropped us off. She stayed that night because we got there. I don't remember what time it was, but it was definitely dark outside. And she was gone by morning, already headed back to Michigan. She was not playing. And I asked my grandmama, because I knew she knew a lot more than I did. And I asked her, I was like, hey, you know, what's going on, Grandma? And she basically told me the same story for the most part. So I said, you know, do you know how long we'll be staying out here? And she said, y'all will be staying out here for about 6-7 months. So I didn't know it up until that point, but that was basically my life for the next 6 to 7 months. I was out there in Alabama. And yeah, it was hell. But if you take anything from this story, next time your neighbor wants a relationship with you and you don't swing that way, just say yes anyway, because you never know what they gonna do. All right, y'all. Catch y'all with the next story. Y'all be smooth, gang.